今日咧阿 Mark 咧就唔喺度嘅，但係我哋今日都好榮幸喎，請到 Franklin Templeton 咧個固定收益投資組合個專家 Ivan。
大家好。
係，我哋今日咧會同 Ivan 傾一傾咧，對於固定收益啦、fixed income 呢個 bond market 啦點樣展望。咁 Trump 咧上咗台之後，當然佢都密密集集睇緊佢個 policy 啦。咁如果喺 Franklin Templeton 個 angle 咧，你哋點睇今年嗰個美國個 yield 個 outlook 啊
Okay, when we talk about the yield curve in the US, in particular short-term rates, we're expecting a neutral rate of somewhere of around 4%. So in other words, we think the Fed may only cut one more time and possibly be done.
減一次㗎咋？你覺得
Only once.
Oh.
So now we all know that the Fed targets full employment and price stability. We have on the labour market side an unemployment rate of around 4.1%. Now that's a very low unemployment rate in a historical context. We just don't see any cracks forming in the labour market that might require support by the Fed.
咁你點睇個 long-term yield 個走勢咧
？We think that longer-term yields, like the US 10-year, have the potential actually to have a little bit more upward movement from where they are today. We wouldn't be surprised to see if it crept up possibly towards the 5% mark, but we'll have to wait and see.
長債息大家知道好 volatile 啦，咁個 yield 咧其實都影響到股市嘅喎。咁過去一個月咧，當個 yield 咧由4% 咧升到4.6%咧，大家記唔記得股市點啊？個股市係要跌㗎。咁尤其一啲高估值嘅科技板塊啦，見到個估值咧都係一個短期咧下調得好緊要啊。咁所以咧，如果真係個長債息咧再波動翻咧，甚至好似 Ivan 咁講咧，有機會去到5%啲話咧，其實股市都要好小心啊！所以咧，我哋一路都係同大家講咧，就唔好集中喺一啲好高增長、好高估值嘅板塊，因為咧美國經濟係好好，但係個息口咧會影響到成個市場嘅，唔係淨係影響到債券啦。其實股票都好依賴一個比較穩定個息口環境嘅。咁我想問翻 Ivan 啦，如果真係上到去5%咧，係今年發生，你覺得係發生咗咩事先會去到5%咧
Right. So, I think one of the reasons why, or there are a few reasons why, I'll mention both, or two reasons. We think that inflation is high and will remain stubbornly high. We also think inflation, the final path of disinflation to the Fed's target of 2%, will take a little bit longer than what most people expect. Whichever measure of CPI or inflation that you look at, whether it's headline CPI, core CPI, or PCE, they're all above the Fed's target of 2%, particularly services inflation. That just doesn't seem to want to come down.
長期通脹嗰個預期啦，同埋嗰個服務業個通脹啦，都令到咧佢係好難跌落嚟。咁呢個影響到長線個債息啦。咁另外你係咪都想講講政府嗰個赤字個問題
Yes, the 2024 fiscal deficit in the US was around $2 trillion. Extraordinary large numbers in a historical context, and we're expecting large deficits again this year and moving forward. Now, the implication of having large deficits is that it needs to be financed, and it's financed by more Treasury issuance. It increases the supply, and if that supply isn't absorbed easily by the market, yields will naturally have to rise. And that's one of the trends that we've noticed that investors should be mindful of when they're looking at longer-term yields.
好啦，問翻 Ivan 最後一個問題。咁喺呢個 yield 咧，如果覺得有機會 higher for longer 啦，咁今年嗰個 investment strategy 咧，硬固定收益應該係你哋比較 prefer 點樣個策略咧
？We're expecting yields to be a little bit higher. Against that backdrop, that's an ideal environment, if you will, for fixed income investors to be able to earn a very attractive, a reliable sort of an income stream from their fixed income investments. To ensure the sort of reliability of that income stream, I think investors might be well advised to follow three basic rules. I think we should stay diversified, so make sure the fixed income investments are diversified by geographies, by sectors, by industries. Be mindful of how much interest rate risk is in the portfolio as a second rule. Interest rate risk will contribute to volatility in portfolios, and as I mentioned before, where we are expecting longer term rates possibly to shift higher, so be mindful of that. And finally, perhaps stay higher up in quality, and being higher up in quality just gives you that added protection against external shocks that might occur over time.
咁咧 Ivan 就係話咧，首先咧 diversification 分散投資係好緊要嘅。第二樣嘢 unfixed income 咧就係話你控制年期啊，因為年期過長咧，其實 interest rate 咧一喐咧，對於個債價個影響都好大嘅。第三樣嘢咧就係高質素啦，咁當然揀翻一啲高質素個債券咧都係好緊要嘅噃。好啦，咁今日我哋個時間差唔多啦，多謝各位收睇，拜拜。